Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. Today we are doing full moon readings because it's a full moon right now, although this is for you whenever you find it. So what we're doing is full moon readings, remember your wildness. So we have, I dropped a thing. We have 5 cards of the moon from 5 different tarot sets. We have the classic rider-waite moon, we have the dragon moon, we have the steampunk moon, we have the dreamer's journal moon, would have fun it, and we have the Robin Hood tarot moon. So feel into the cards. One of these has a reading for you about remembering your wildness. I'm going to be using the Elder Futhark on clay runes, one of the Blum sets, and I'm going to put the timestamps in the description, and I will see you there. Bye. Hello to all of you who chose the classic moon from the Rider-Waite tarot. I'm going to move that over here and get this fuzzy off. And fuzzy's stuck to my fuzzy background. I'm going to put that here. So let's see what your wildness is and how you can remember it and what you can do to work with it. Let's see. I'm going to lay down the whole reading for now. Okay, interesting. Interesting. So I figure, since it's been in the past this, for readings like this, I'm just going to build it, and we're going to go from there. That's blank. Hooray! Oop. There we are. Wow. Okay, cool. We're certainly ending with the wildness. Okay, so your central issue for this reading and what represents your wildness is we have Ivaz, which is the yew tree rune. I usually read this as patience, slow growth, slow development, step by step. However, there is another element of the yew tree rune, which is the passing between worlds. And I think as far as that being the question, that's your wildness in this case. You have a wild aspect where you are able to walk in more than one world at a time. And this is something that's important to remember because it enriches your life, and also it's really cool. So, but your wildness is, and this actually gives you, I mean, in keeping with the rune itself, this gives you a patience that other people generally won't have because you are seeing more than one side of things at the same time. So you're able to move between worlds. You're able to walk between like in 2 worlds at once and also between worlds. So leading up to this, we have Raido, which is the journey rune. So this is something that it's been with you your whole life, but it's something that you've I probably relatively recently allowed into your consciousness as far as, hey, you know what, that's the thing I do. But yeah, your journey so far has led you to this point where you're like embracing this element of you, which is this wild element that you can move between worlds. I mean, on the tarot card itself, we have that happening. We have the dog and the wolf, and everything that comes between. So we've got the 2 worlds represented already. So what is going to help you connect with this? What is going to help you remind you of this is always, always, always stillness, and the stillness through which clarity comes. So we have Isa, which is the rune of ice. It's standstill, it's stillness. So give yourself time to be still to help you connect with this and to help you navigate where you are in terms of where you are walking in the 2 worlds. You have the foot in both. And that's going to help you the most. And again, it's stillness through which clarity comes. So give yourself the time to be still regularly, and that's going to help you a lot in terms of A, remembering this element of your wildness, and B, sitting with it and giving it space. What isn't going to help is there's a sense of worry about leaving a comfort zone. So yes, you can move between worlds, but the corporeal world is very it's compelling. There's a lot to it that makes you feel comforted, and that, you know, there's not, you can get a certain amount of things in order here that, you know, there's a lot more wildness in the non-corporeal world. There's a lot of wildness in the corporeal world, but you know what I'm saying. So there's a certain amount of where you get too stagnated and too, you may get a little bit stuck in one or the other, where you feel like to move out of that is a comfort zone. And it could also have to do with the non-corporeal world. It could have to do with like the other worlds, or however you divide it. It might not even be corporeal, non-corporeal. It could be, you know, spiritual and mundane. Well, not mundane. Spiritual and secular. It could be, you know, whatever. They could be like various, you know, work life, you know, kind of thing. So it could be lots of things that are your two or more worlds that you are walking in. However, what could hold you back from embracing this is feeling very much in one or another of them, where you don't want to leave that because that's your comfort zone. But the idea is, if you're embracing your wildness, if you're remembering it, then what you're doing is you're going to be making more of the worlds that you are in your comfort zone. So you want to make sure that you are, if you can walk in those worlds and you are naturally walking in those worlds, that's those worlds can all be home at the same time, kind of thing. So to do that, basically. So what isn't going to help you is worries about leaving your comfort zone, worries about that you're not going to have a solid base, because you can have a solid base in all the worlds that you walk in. So if that starts to be the case, give yourself the stillness that you need to bring the clarity through, and to help you have that stillness in whatever world you're currently in, or whatever worlds you are currently in. What this is going to lead you to is great happiness and joy. So we have joy, which is Vunyo, which is the joy rune, right in the center of this reading. The main thing is that as soon as you embrace it, this is going to give you this great joy. You're going to feel very, very happy and whole and content. And what is going to help you with that moment is we have Yira, which is the rune of the harvest and also time. But you're basically going to be seeing, you're going to be seeing results right away. As soon as you embrace this, as soon as you remember and embrace this element of your wildness, not only are you going to be very, very happy, but what's going to keep you happy is that you're going to be getting rewards from this immediately. As soon as you're doing this, you just look at how much you're getting from this, all the riches and rewards and nourishment and fruits of your labors are going to be coming in, and that's going to reinforce how happy you are about this situation, where you're like, yeah, no, I do walk in more than one world. What isn't going to help is we have Lagus, which is the rune of the water, it's the flow, it's the lake, it's emotion, intuition, and heart. And so it's a very positive rune, but it's in the negative line. You know, there might be an emotional component where you're worried about that you might be too much for one or the other world. You might worry that, you know, the things that are flowing too quickly for you to get your head around, kind of thing. There may also be situations where you're wondering where your heart's at, but you're happy. You know, you when you integrate and when you sort of embrace all of it, there is a great joy involved with this. So I guess there may also be a worry about the flow of things, where you may worry that I'm happy now, but things could change, at which, you know, happiness is weather like all other emotions. So of course it's going to shift, but in this center moment, yes, you're worried about it shifting out of that, but what's always going to maintain this, and what will always remind you that this is the right thing to do, is that you are, and once again, bring yourself, if this is dragging you down, bring yourself back up here. You are receiving rewards for this. You are receiving rewards in your life. You're receiving, confirmation, nourishment, fruits of your labors. You're getting something out of this, and this is really helping you to maintain a certain joy out of this. Even if you're not immediately happy, and even if you're not like currently happy, this can always help you to at least feel a bit happier than you were before. So your next step then is, now that you've got this in order, is you can move ahead into uncharted ground, basically. You're basically like, okay, you know, I have this. I'm comfortable with inhabiting more than one world and walking in more than one world as my wildness that I embrace. So is there more? Like, what more can I see? What more can I do? What else can I do? And so you're able to walk now into uncharted territory, into unmapped ground, trackless, where you haven't been before. You're open to that because you know that you have this ability and that you have this wildness, that you're okay with that. What is going to help you is make sure that you're keeping around you what, you're able to work with what you have, to basically, okay, so Ingbaz, sorry, jumping all over my sentences. Ingbaz is the rune of Ing. Ing is another name for Frey. Frey is the fertility god. I usually read this as active creation in these readings. So what is going to help you in this space when you're like, I'm going to step out into uncharted territory because I feel comfortable with this and I already know that I am comfortable moving between worlds. So let's see what else there is. And what helps is you can use what you have to control what you can to make the things around you be comfortable for you based on what you already know from moving between worlds already. So this is basically you're being actively creative with your life and what you have around you in it. What won't help is we have Ansuz, which is the rune of communication and manifestation. You're worried about what you might be manifesting, as well as worrying about how do you express this? How do you even express this? But this is sort of like a manifestation where you're building things around you to keep yourself comfortable in whatever world you're in. So you're a bit worried about that. You don't want to, impose, as well as you're worried about, if I'm in this other world and I'm creating things around me, am I actually taking this in? Am I embracing it or whatever? Either way, this is dragging you down once you're in that spot. So bring yourself back up to where you are, just basically working with what you have, with what you already know, to create around you what you need in order to comfortably move forward into this new ground. And your outcome for this whole spread is Hagalaz. Now, Hagalaz is the hailstorm. This has to do with generally chaos and the uncontrolled controllables, but it also has to do with nature, and it also has to do with your nature, and it has to do with your natural self and yourself as a force of nature. And you can basically remember that this is you, this is your wildness. That's why I said at the beginning, it's like there's your wildness right at the end. So your wildness is you are wherever you go, a force of nature, and you are comfortable moving between worlds. You're very comfortable with that. That is your chief wildness that has shown up in this reading. So as you move through into even other worlds you haven't stepped in yet, you can carry this with you. You are your own storm. You are your own force of nature, your own wild being, and you carry that with you. And this gives you strength and power and energy and all that good stuff. And it's your nature, and it's also your connection to nature wherever you are and in whatever world you're in. So that, card number 1, people who chose the rider-waite version of the moon, is your reading for full moon readings. Remember your wildness. So, all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello to all of you who chose card number 2, the dragon moon. So let's bring the dragon moon over here. It's like one of the only, well, no, there's other ones that have full moon. In fact, most of them have a version of the full moon. It's like I was looking through all my tarot cards to do this today, and so many of them have a crescent moon only. And it's like, I kind of want to do full moon because that's the point. It's a full moon reading. We're remembering our wellness. Ooh, that's neat. Issa showed up there in the last reading as well. So I'm going to throw down this entire reading, and then I'm going to read it. So I'm using a Blum set, one of the Blum sets. It's clay, and because I thought it would show up nicely on the fur. There we go. The way I'm doing this is the central issue rune is the representation of the wildness that you are going to remember and work with. So in this case, your wildness is Gabo, and Gabo is the rune of, ultimately when it boils down, it's the rune of the exchange. It's the rune of an exchange. It's a gift, and a gift was always an exchange in ancient times. You never gave a gift without getting also. So it has to do with agreements, decisions, plans, and goals. It can have to do with one-on-one relationships and one-on-one interchanges. But I do see this as far as the question that I'm putting to the runes in this case. I do see this as representing your wildness is this natural sense of exchange as you move through your life and as you move down your path and as you move through the world or worlds. There is this sense of exchange where you're always, it's an exchange with whatever you're facing and whatever you're dealing with. There's always that energy exchange going on, and that's where your wildness comes in. Leading up to this is born of joy. So this ability is born of joy. It's just like you are experiencing the universe or universes, and it just gives you such joy to have that exchange with the things that you encounter. That's how you process it. That's how you love it. That's how you interact with it. And it's all about, I'm exchanging with you. It's an energy exchange, and it just keeps you thriving, and it's just so good. So keep that up. What is going to help you with this? What is going to help you remember it? If you have forgotten at any time, just give yourself time to be still. It's the stillness through which clarity comes. We have Isa, which is the rune of ice, and ice is stillness. It stands still. Sometimes, if it's the younger Futhark, it's the bridge. So it's something that is a bridge and a helper. In this case, we are reading the Elder Futhark. It still does apply, but I'm seeing this more as just give yourself some stillness, give yourself some time to be still, and the clarity will come through about this. This itself will be an exchange for you. You are going to be sitting, giving yourself a moment to be still, and then have that basic energy exchange. I mean, you're already coming in with a great sense of joy and a great sense of, great heart and just basically love. It's how you love. It's how you love. You've raised your vibration by being in great joy. And then it's basically that love that is the exchange, that exchange of energy with things. And you're adding love to the universe, and it's all good, or universes, as the case may be. So just give yourself, if you start to forget that, give yourself some time to be still and start to let that exchange restart on a basic level. And then build from there, and then you'll be back in the game. What won't help is we have Yira. Now, Yira is the rune of harvest and time. This is what isn't going to be helping you. It's a very, very positive rune in a negative spot. So I'm seeing this more in terms of fears about that thing. So you may be worried about how much time you have used already, how little time may be left, and what you have to show for it. But I mean, if that starts to drag you down, this is why you're doing this. Give yourself the time to be still. Give yourself your time to connect with, the clarity that comes in and what you experience in the stillness, and start exchanging your energy with that again, and that will help you. And so what this will lead you to is you're back on the road. You're back on your path. We have Ayavaz, which is the yew tree. This has to do with patience, step-by-step, slow growth, slow development, moving between worlds, as I've discussed recently, but also now that you've remembered your wildness, which is about that, and you've gone into the stillness to remind yourself of this, and you've started these exchanges of energy and love with the things around you in the universes, just take that on the road. Basically, we have the long path ahead. So you see that this is a long path. You've got some ways to go to build this up again. But that's something will just be an accumulative thing. So accumulative or cumulative? Both. So what is going to help you here is we have Sovilo, which is the sun. The sun has to do with source energy. So whatever it is that always gives you energy, this is the energy that you are exchanging. So do the things that always give you energy no matter when you do them. The kind of things that when you do them, you're like, I could do this all day. Things that always give you energy. It could be music. It could be nature. Just make sure that you are keeping your energy stores replenished. It's not always going to be about an exchange and maintaining that energy. It's like rebreathing kind of thing. So you want to get out and make sure that you are continually filling your energy stores anyway, and that's going to help carry you through on the long road where you're just continuing what you were doing here. So make sure that even though you are doing the energy exchange thing, that you are also intaking more from what you always get energized by, rather than just relying on the exchange constantly. You do need to keep a little bit more than you give out. So do that. What isn't going to help is we have algae is reversed. Algae is the rune of the elk, otherwise known as the moose. It has to do with protection and support. It is reversed on the lower line. This is exactly what I was saying. Is like, you may feel like, I'm going forward, I'm doing all these energy exchanges, but I feel like nobody's actually supporting me. Well, that's why we're doing this. So if you feel like that, bring yourself back up to where you are making sure at least every day to connect with what always energizes you, what always gives you energy and source energy. So make sure that, if it's nature, make sure that you're always getting out into nature every day, no matter what nature is doing. Even if it's too cold to go out, you just stick your face in a window and breathe. Make sure that you're connecting with whatever it is that gives you energy, so that, again, you have more, you always have your energy stores more full than what you're exchanging as you move forward. So what this is going to lead you to is we have Hagalaz, which is the rune of the hailstorm. And I normally would read this as, chaos and things that are out of your control, but it's also natural forces, it's weather, it's natural energies. So it's sort of as along the lines of the topic that we're discussing of your wildness. This is your wildness. You are basically a force of nature. You are moving forward and doing this. And because you're keeping yourself energized, you're able to move into a space doing the things you're doing, which is your wildness of the exchanges and the joy and the love. But you have more than you are exchanging with. And so you're always full and you're always replenished, and you are just basically a force. You come in and you are a force. You are a great wildness in the world. What is going to help you is if you encounter something, because I see that there's a helper here, and as a helper, that's as if this was also a challenge. So this is a challenge. This is a storm. So let's say you come into a situation where things are a little bit wilder than you would like them to be, even though your wildness is exchange. You're coming into, once you've been on the path for a while, a situation where you're facing something that is a lot wilder than you're used to. One of the things that's going to help you is just embrace that challenge. This is something that you are using your wildness of exchanging, the energy exchanges and love and joy. Here's this great big thing that is like really wild. Do I exchange with this too? Yes. We have, this is going to only enrich your life more. Obviously be careful, but it does suggest that what's going to help you the most is just embrace this. It's mostly just going to be like a stopped in your tracks moment of, oh my gosh, that's really big. It's like if suddenly, I don't know why this popped into my head, but it's like if somebody gave you order dessert and it comes and it's like really big. It's like, but then you go, all right. And then maybe you share it. But anyway, just embrace it. It's Thurizaz, it's the challenge rune, but it is upright, which means it's an open door. It's going to be a matter of just psyching yourself up and just doing it. What is not going to help you is you may lose heart at the size of this. We have Laguz reversed. Laguz is the rune of emotion, intuition, and heart. It's the water. It's all the watery stuff. It's the flow. So it may shock you to the point where you may be tempted to stop your flow of your energy that you use to exchange. It may also cause you to lose heart. And that might stop you, but this is a rich meal. So, make sure that you are keeping yourself absolutely energized, because you're going to still need to keep some of that when you do this exchange with this big wild thing. But it's cool. So just embrace this, be ready and just embrace this challenge. And what this is going to lead you to is we have Rider reversed. And the way I'm going to read this is, it's like you're going to be taking your journey deep inward. So Rider's the journey rune. This is the journey rune when it's reversed. Sometimes it has to do with an end of a journey, but I'm seeing this more as we're taking this journey deeper. At this point, it's like it's a deepening of the journey. Once you've found this really, really wild thing that you're going to exchange with, you embrace the challenge, and then you're taking this journey deeper, like to levels that you haven't experienced before. And that's really exciting. So that card number 2 people who chose the Dragon Moon is your reading about your wildness. remembering it, full moon reading, and remembering your wildness. So I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 3 people who chose the Steampunk Moon card. I'm going to move this over here, and we're going to get started with the runes. The first rune down is going to be your wildness. It's going to represent what your wildness is. And then the rest of it is going to be how to remember it and how to work with it as you move forward. So it's very exciting. Ooh, okay. Neat. Neat. And very fitting for the kind of card that we have here. So that works out neatly. So I'm going to put down the entire reading first, and then I'm going to read from there. How are you? I'm good. I have some things that I'm going to be doing in the next few days, which are going to be a little bit ordeal-like, but that's okay. I will get through them, and then I won't have to worry about them. So, all right, back to the reading. So, card number 3, people. Your central issue and your wildness is represented by Laguz reversed. Laguz is the rune of water. It's the lake, it's the flow, it's emotion, intuition, and heart, and it is reversed. Now, reversed on the central issue and on the path line, I usually will read as inner. I'm sort of seeing this as your wildness is your inner flow. This could be your dreams. This could be, the wild stuff in your subconscious that just enriches your life through your days. You may not speak about it much, but it's something that is like absolutely your wildness, and it gives your life such depth and richness. So, and again, dreams, very likely. If you don't remember dreams, then it's just the way that you experience the world with the things that are speaking to you basically in the world that don't speak to other people that you notice. It's basically the way that the universe communicates with you. So it's just this deep inner flow that you are tapped into, from which your wildness comes. So that's the wildness you're remembering. Leading up to this, maybe you have been spending a lot of surface time. Like maybe you've been like in the mundane, walking around corporeal world a lot, and it's just it's starting to feel blank to you. It's starting to feel like this is really uninteresting and dull and not exciting and not rich. This is one of the reasons you want to remember this. You want to remember dreams. You want to remember your deep inner flow, your imaginal worlds, your inner adventures, your inner connections, your deep emotions, your deepest inner heart, all that good stuff. What is going to help you with this? I'm going to read this a couple ways. We have Vunyo reversed. Vunyo is the rune of joy. So reversed, I'm going to say, 1, keep in mind where you are feeling discontented, because that's your key into finding how to fix that and how to obtain your contentment again. But mostly what I'm saying is look for your deep inner joys. Again, if it's reversed and it's a very positive rune, I tend to read this as inner, especially on the upper 2 lines. So what is going to help you connect with this flow is watch for those things that just give you that little zing or that little ping or whatever it is as you're moving through things. It's like, oh, that's something extra special, and that's like a little doorway opening for me, and that's like a little zap of some conduit that I need to be connected to, and all that good stuff. You're going to be paying attention to that as you move through the world, and that's going to start helping reawaken this wildness and to remember this wildness if you haven't already remembered it. And if you do, then just like we're reconnecting with that, and we're doing that by looking at the way the universe is communicating, or the universes are communicating with you, and just basically going with that, letting that lead for a bit. What isn't going to help is you're going to feel, especially if you're just starting into this and you haven't been working with it, you may feel a little bit unsupported, you may feel a little bit alone, but that's just because you haven't been looking in that direction for a while. So once again, yes, this could drag you down, this could make you not have the energy that you feel you need to start, but once you start, the energy is going to start to flow in. So if that starts to be the case, just look around, look for the things that speak to you, look for the things that are giving you those little jolts of energy and those little boosts of, oh my gosh, that is so cool. I'm so excited about that, even though that it's like little. So mostly that's what you're looking for, is those deep inner joy resonances. And that's what's going to lead you forward on this and reconnecting with this. What your next step is going to be, we have Rider, which is the rune of the journey. You are back on the journey. It doesn't take long to reconnect. Really just be aware for a little while. And you're back on the journey. So you're moving forward, carrying this with you, because this is an intensely important part of you. That's just clouds. I thought it was something on it. So you're moving forward with this. What is going to help you is be patient. Actually, I'm going to read this one a couple ways as well. Be patient with the process. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with the way that you are communicating with the universe on this. At the same time, you are moving between worlds. You are basically, you're carrying both worlds with you. You're moving forward in both worlds simultaneously now. So being aware of that and being excited about that and being, immersed in that is going to definitely help you on this journey, and to keep it rich and to keep it, you're sort of keeping a balance between the two worlds that you're moving through. Normally it's a dog and a wolf. It's a cat and a dog in this case. Still got the scorpion coming out of the water, but it's a steampunk scorpion. So anyway, so that's what's going to help you. What isn't going to help you is don't move too quickly forward. We have Avaz, which is the horse rune that has to do with movement and spirit. On the lower line, there's a bug. There's a gnat flying around. Don't push forward too quickly. We want to carry this with us as we move forward this time. Because before we were we moved forward in the outer world so much that we forgot that we needed to be carrying this with us. So make sure that as you move forward, you're not rushing ahead in such a way that you're forgetting to take with you that rich, deep inner part of your life that is so important to you and gives you so much richness. So if that starts to be the case, if you feel yourself pushing ahead, no, you're like, I'm going to be patient. I'm going to be taking this step by step, and I'm making sure that I'm carrying both worlds with me. Both worlds are important, but I'm not doing this at the expense of one over the other. Right now, this is going to be so important to me to carry both forward. So that's going to help you. Your next step is your life is going to feel very, very rich. Your whole life around you. We have Fehu, which is the rune of wealth and worth. It's cattle, so it's the wealth that you tend. So it's basically, as long as you're taking care of this world as well as your outer world, your life is going to feel super, super rich. And make sure that you are doing that. What is going to help you is make the changes around you and arrange things around you so that this is something that continues to be carried forward. Make sure that you are making room in your life for this world, because that's your wildness and you need that to keep your life rich. You need to be taking care of that. So if you haven't made room in your life for this, if you haven't given it time, no matter what anybody else says, make sure that you're doing that, because that's what's going to keep it in your life. It's going to keep you having the opportunity to take care of it and to tend to it, and that's going to keep your life rich. What isn't going to help is we have Pertho. Pertho is the rune of the lot box. This has to do with surprises and fate. But the surprises it has to do with are surprises that were always there. You may be worried about what this might uncover, or worried about surprises they may happen in either world, in any of the worlds or universes that you're encountering. But you're basically a bit worried about something that might come up that might stop you in your tracks and make you go, okay, this changes everything and now I can't do what I love to do anymore. This is why we're doing this. This is why we're, in case of eventualities like this where something stops you, where something is a surprise and something comes up that needs to be tended and that has always needed to be tended, remember, this is something that already came up and needed to be tended. So this is why you're making these arrangements, to make sure that you're making place for this in your life. And if anything comes up, you have already carved out the place that you need in your life to keep this taken care of. So even if a surprise does come up, you can still take care of this. You can still move forward in both worlds, or in all the worlds that you are inhabiting. And what this is going to lead you to is great energy. This is going to be a source of great energy for you. We have Sovilo, which is the sun. The sun is source energy. So whatever it is, that whenever you connect with it and whenever you do it, it always energizes you, no matter what. It's the kind of thing that you basically say, I could do this all day. And that's what it's going to lead you to. So this is only going to boost your energy. The more you connect with both, the more you're walking in both of these worlds, the more energy you're going to be able to take from that, and the more rich your life is going to feel, and you're not going to have this blank feeling anymore. And if you ever do again, you'll know what you need to do, which is to reconnect with this part of your life, your deep inner flow. So that card number, what card number is this? 3 people who chose the steampunk moon is your reading. I wish you all the best with this, for this reading about full moon reading and remembering your wildness. So I wish you all the best, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 4 people who chose the card of the moon from the Dreamer's Journal Tarot. I'm going to move this over here, and Little Wolf, and I'm going to get the runes out to clarify. So the first rune that's going to go down is what's representing your wildness, the wildness that you are remembering. And then we're going to build from there. I'm going to put the entire, ooh, neat. I'm going to build from there. I'm going to put the entire reading down, and then I will read it. So then I don't have to worry about messing with cards. Runes while I am reading. Not that I ever worry about that, because generally I will build anyway, but in this case, I'm going to build the reading, and then we're going to read it. A lot of repeats, so I think a lot of people have similar, not repeats, but like, I'm seeing a lot of the same runes, but they are coming up in different spots, so nice. So your central issue and your wildness is represented here by Ansuz. Ansuz is the rune of communication and manifestation. So it is about expression. This could be your creative expression, which is maybe why the wolf is front and center here, because the wolf, of course, is known for expressing itself over great distances. So we have Ansuz, which is the rune of communication, manifestation. In some versions, in like the Younger Futhark, it's like the god. So it's basically the communication that creates, like the expression that creates. So creative expression is definitely your wildness, or just basically creating by expressing. So your words are very powerful. Your speech is very powerful. Your communication is very powerful. This is your wildness, your wildestness. Leading up to this, you've actually been seeing a lot of fruits of your labors. In fact, you may have suspected this to be a great power of yours, especially only recently, where you're like, you know what, I'm getting a lot of feedback of, I'm getting a lot of nourishment and energy and rewards and fruits of my labors from things that I am doing based on expressing myself. So this may already have been occurring to your mind, but here you are facing it. You're remembering that your wildness is communication and expression. It could be communication, it could be expression in other ways. Ways that you express yourself are very, very powerful for you, and your wild force, your wild energy is tied into that. What is going to help you the most to remember it and also to connect with it is to connect with your heart, to become very heart-led and heart-focused. So we have Laguz, which is the rune of the flow. It's water. It's all the watery stuff, emotion, intuition, and heart. It may also be saying go with the flow, but I'm really seeing this more as very strong recommendation to sink into your heart, basically, and let that lead, because that's always going to connect you to where you want to express. You know, wolves are very heart-centered, and they when they express, they always express from the heart. So this is a wolf. So this is basically the situation of what's going to help you with that. If you ever forget, if you ever start to not feel as wild and as powerful as you'd like, bring yourself back down to your heart level and just basically let that lead you. What isn't going to help is really just fear of the unknown. You're going out there, you're not sure how to break that silence, how to break whatever ice you're facing. I don't see Isa here. Isa's the ice rune, but there's like, as you move into spaces, you're not sure how to penetrate them with your version of expression sometimes, and that could drag you down. But once again, always, and this is a good idea for anybody with anything, but always let your heart lead if you find yourself feeling not sure. But your wildness is definitely your expressiveness, however, whatever form that takes. Leading over to the next step, once you get in good with that, your next step is you're just basically ready to embrace your fate. Basically, this is Peritho. It's the lot box. It has to do with surprises and fate. It's basically you're ready to unbox. You're ready to unbox whatever the future holds for you. So the thing about Peritho is that it's surprises, but it's surprises about things that are already there. So you may suddenly realize something that you didn't realize before, but that was always the case. So this is why, the whole fate thing comes in, where it's like, okay, well, this was always here for me. This was always before me. So you're ready to embrace this. You're ready to embrace this fate and just basically unbox it and let it show you what it will. Even if it's a big surprise. It is upright, so upright on the path line, not a problem. What is going to help you is really you are going to be focusing on following your own, once again, your own drummer, which is your heart, basically. We have not Ansus, that's Ansus. We have Manas, which is the rune of humanity, and your part in it. This is where you feel you belong. And sometimes the din of humanity can drown that out if you let it, which is why you're going to turn away from the din of humanity and just continue to let your heart lead. Let your heart be that different drummer that you follow. So that's basically the recommendation is, as you unbox your fate, as you unbox your path ahead and your surprises as you come to them, let your heart continue to lead you. Let that be the drummer that is the different drummer that you march to, so to speak. What isn't going to help is you may feel obligated. You may feel like you had agreements and interchanges with people that sort of have bound you before you did this. Try not to worry about that. If it's like an actual legal obligation and things like that, you can still deal with that while letting your heart lead and take care of that, and you're still walking your path. But if you feel like, and especially if these are things that you sort of mentally agreed to and didn't actually legally agree to, it's like, you don't have to do, once you've discovered your actual path and what actually brings you joy and what actually gives you energy, things that you had agreed to yourself to do before you realize that, it's okay to let those go. It's okay to say, okay, well, that was before I realized all the facts about me. And now I realize this probably won't help me, and just trying to drag this along, it's too heavy. It's going to drag me down. Even if I told somebody else about it and I feel bad saying, what, I said I was going to do this in my life, but I don't actually feel like doing that anymore. I'm not copping out. I just learned who I was more, and now I'm going to do something different. Don't worry about that. You're sort of, everybody in the world has their opinions, and the only one that matters as far as your life is what you need. So again, let your heart lead. Tune out the din of humanity and just let your heart be the different drummer that you are marching to as you move forward, unboxing your future. Unboxing your future. What this is going to lead you to is a deep inner sense of joy. You may also become more keenly aware of discontent when it happens, but really on the path line, I'm seeing this more as inner joy. Once you've let go of the things that you need to let go of, and you are basically marching to the drummer of your heart instead of to the din of humanity's drummers, you are going to, it's like a seed that is starting to grow within you of joy, that you're feeling this joy that you hadn't felt before. What is going to help you with that is let it bloom. Let this bloom. We have Dagas, which is the breaking of the day. Let this new dawn happen for you. It's going to fill your entire field of vision. It's going to illuminate everything in your life, and just let it bloom. Let this happen and let this bloom. Do not worry about the journey ahead. You may be worried about this because you've been doing a certain thing so long, and you had this, at first you're just I don't know, it's the same. And then you were still worried about your old life, things that you had sort of ideas about having this plan. And then now you're sort of worried about this journey is nothing like what I thought it was going to be, and that's worrying me. That's kind of out of my comfort zone, and you're back to fears of the unknown. if that starts to be the case, just remember and look around and see how bright everything is now and how much color there is in everything now and how rich everything is now for you. And just keep letting the illumination grow this joy that is growing in your heart since you unboxed your future and started moving into it with this embracing of your wildness of being able to express and be expressive and express from the heart. And what this is ultimately going to lead you to is a very, very rich feeling life. This is Fehu. It's the rune of wealth and worth. It's the wealth that you tend. It's cattle. So as long as you take care of it, as long as you take care of this, and as long as you are keeping that well taken care of and letting your heart lead you through this, because it's as long as, as I heard one time, speak from the heart or you will lose your voice. And that's basically it. You speak from the heart or you will lose your voice. But this is the thing, is your wildness is your expressiveness. And as long as you're taking care of that and making sure to make room for that in your life is going to feel very, very rich. And you go forward into the world with this wildness with you intact. So that, card number 4, people, is your reading about. It's the full moon reading about remembering your wildness. So I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 5, people who chose the moon from the Robin Wood Tarot. I'm going to bring this over here, and we're going to start with the runes. The first rune that's going to go down is going to represent your wildness that you need to remember. Ooh. That's quite interesting, and we're going to talk about this, but let me get the whole reading down first. I was thinking through the runes and various runes that might be difficult to describe as, oh, this is your wildness. I'd never even thought of this one, and so this is going to be really interesting. But thankfully, we have a lot of context with the runes around it, and I am not concerned because I know already. So that this is going to be really neat. Okay, so your central issue and the rune that has gone down to represent your wildness, card number 5, people who chose the Robin Wood Tarot moon, is Nauthiz. Now, Nauthiz is the rune of need. This is basically a rune about tending the need fire. It's basically, it's what you need to, it's like using what you have to make what you need kind of thing. So it's basically one of the things, especially in the Younger Futhark, where it talks about this rune, it talks about the need also contains its solution. So one of your wildnesses is that you are very, very practical as far as you are able to see a need and the solution just blooms from that. Once you see it, you know almost immediately what you need to do. So it's just like a very natural instinct kind of thing where, you see a need and you already have the answer with you of how to deal with that. So it's really exciting. It's like it's a real instinct kind of thing where other people might not even have that instinct. They might be too unwild to realize that what they need they have already, and they know if they just let themselves think about it or let themselves not think about it, the solution would come to them. With you, that's very natural. The solutions to things naturally come to you. It's a very instinctive kind of thing. Leading up to this, we have Fehu, which is the rune of wealth and worth. It's like you've always had this. You've always had this in your life, and because of this, your life has always felt very rich because you've never really felt that you didn't have what you needed. Like whatever has come up, you've always felt like, okay, if I need this, then look around, you have what you need, or you can put together what you need from what you have. You've always been able to know instinctively what you need and what to do with what you have to make what you need. So it's really cool. So anyway, here you are. Here's your wildness. Let's see how you reawaken it if you have forgotten it. We have Pertho reversed. Pertho is the rune of the lot box. The lot box has to do with surprises and fate. When it's reversed, I usually read this as inner, especially when it's on the upper line, which it is, for what's helping you. So just basically open up to your own knowing about yourself, because it's there. This is something you may not have acknowledged yet about yourself, but it has always been there. It's always been with you. It's this thing that it might surprise you about yourself, but when you look back, you'll be able to see that you've always had this. What will not help you is if you've been just moving forward and you feel like, because maybe this has been triggered by you have suddenly come into a situation where you feel the lack of something, where you suddenly feel the need of something, and maybe you've been going along and you hadn't realized, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is an impossible challenge. Well, it may feel like an impossible challenge because maybe you haven't dealt with it yet, but given that this is your wildness, you have this instinctive sense of that you know how to obtain what you need, even if you only have to work with what you have. You know how to do that. And if you start to feel like, oh my gosh, this is an impossible challenge, just take a moment and just think about it. It's like, is it? Because I look back at my life, and whenever I've needed something, even things that have been like, man, this is really tricky. Oh, wait a minute. I have this, or I have access to this. This is what's going to help me. This is what your life has been. So you have what you need, or you either have what you need, or you have access to what you need, or you know how to get access to what you need. And it's a very instinctive thing, and there's hardly any break in this flow. So if this starts to feel impossible, just bring yourself back up to looking back on your life and remembering all those times when that happened, and then let this realization bloom on you that this is something that is in you and has always been in you. So your next step on the path line is we have Gebo. Gebo is the rune of the gift. It's also an exchange, and it's the way that you exchange with the universe or universes around you. This is basically you having an exchange with everything on a one-on-one basis. So I usually read Gebo as agreements, decisions, goals, and plans, and sometimes as a one-on-one relationship. In this case, it's your one-on-one relationship with everything, including deeper aspects of yourself, including the universe and the universes and the things around you. Just this constant, you have these like tendrils out that you're in constant exchange with, and this is how you just constantly know what you need and how to access or how to get access to what you need. What is going to help you is just keep moving forward. We have Rider, which is the rune of the journey. It's the journey rune. It's riding. Keep moving forward. There's a great book by Lloyd Alexander. It's one of the Prydain Chronicles. I think it's Terran Wanderer. No, yes, it's Terran Wanderer. And at one point he meets these people who live by a river. And every day they put nets in the river and they pull up basically what looks like junk. And they just keep it. And then, days, months, or years later, they're like, you know what, we need this. And then they'll just go and look at all the things they pulled up. And they have exactly what they need. That's you. And the line at the end of that chapter, which is one of my favorite lines in anything, is trust to luck, but don't forget to put your nets out. And that's basically it. And that's basically what you've been doing your whole life, is that you keep moving forward. And as long as you're moving forward, you're getting this input. You're getting things coming in at you that you sort of keep. and then when a need arises, you go back and you look at those things and you're just like, oh, I have exactly what I need. I already have that. So that's what's going to help you, and that's what's going to continue to help you. What isn't going to help you is you may be worried about the flow of things. You may be worried about the flow getting away from you. You may be worried about, this is Laguz. It's the rune of water. It's the flow. It's emotion, intuition, and heart. But I'm seeing this more as in the river aspect of the flow. It's like you're moving forward. You may be worried about the flow getting past you as you're like having these exchanges. It's not going to be, you keep moving forward. You're not pushing the river, which you may feel like you might want to, but you don't have to. You're just moving forward at your pace, the pace of your journey. So if you're worried about that, if you're worried about the flow getting ahead of you or not flowing enough, just bring yourself back to, I am taking my steps of my journey, and this has always been fine so far, and I'm having all my exchanges with the universe, and it's all good. So it's just a fear, really, at this point. It's it might drag you down because you're a bit worried about it, especially since you've become aware of it. And once we become aware of a thing that was an unconscious thing before, we have all kinds of panic associated with that. But really just, keep up the exchanges that you have, as you always have, the relationships you have one-on-one with everything around you, and keep moving forward. That's going to help you the most. Your next step will be just continuing forward on your path. We have Ivaz, which is the rune of the yew tree. This has to do with patience, step by step, slow growth, slow development. You see the path ahead of you and you know it's a clear path, and on you go. You just carry on. What's going to help you is don't rush ahead. Do not rush ahead, and do a lot of inner journeying as well, like an inner movement. Don't wear yourself out, basically. It's a long road, so don't wear yourself out, is basically the thing. We have Avaz, which is the horse. The horse has to do with movement and spirit. So I think really the instruction, just like worrying about the flow, don't wear yourself out. You're moving forward and you're getting all these things that you're putting aside and saving in your resources. But don't rush. Like, you see this as a long road. If you rush, you're going to wear yourself out. So just don't wear yourself out. Take it slow. Don't rush ahead. What you might be worried about while this is happening is it's a long road. So you may feel like it's not moving at all. And we have Isa, which is ice. This has to do with standstill. You may worry that it's not moving, but it is. It's just a long road. It's like watching grass grow, but grass is good. And so you're basically reminding yourself that I'm not going to rush along this long road because I will wear myself out. I'm pacing myself. And I have what I need, so I'm not really worried about it. So on you go, bit by bit. What this is going to lead you to is, we have Ansus. Ansus is the rune of communication and manifestation, and I'm going to really lean on the manifestation part of it. Wherever you go, whatever you do, because this is your wildness, you are going to be able to manifest what you need whenever you need it. We have some versions of this. It's the God. It's not just it's the mouth. It's the God. It's communication. It's manifestation. So it's manifestation through communication, but it's also through expression. Blah blah blah. It's basically you're going to be able to manifest whatever you need as you go forward. And taking your time on this is really going to show you that, because I expect on a long road like this, you're going to see moments where you're going to be like, oh man, hey, I already have that, which has been sort of your life already so far anyways. So that is your reading for a full moon reading. Remember your wildness. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.